explanation for the non-payment? Where do you currently work? Can you explain why you have not paid? What is your income per pay period? Do you own your own property? If yes, where is it located? Do you own or lease motor vehicles? Whoa, so many personal questions. Well, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the debtor examinations under Ontario's Small Claims Court rules. This is one of the most important and often misunderstood enforcement tools available after you've already won your case. My name is Weiting Bollu, and I am the CEO of Openroom.ca. Today's video is made in partnership with CourtReady.ca, which builds practical tools and lessons for self-represented litigants across Canada. Honestly, I wish I had this no-nonsense Q&A when I took my former tenants who decided not to pay rent in excess of over $35,000 to an examination hearing. Well, it's never too late to learn. I'm sharing knowledge with you so you can make more informed decisions. Here we go. What is a debtor's examination? A debtor examination is a court-supervised process that happens after you've gotten a judgment, but the debtor has not yet paid. So example here could be an LTB order that states the landlord owes tenant money or that the tenant owes landlord money. Winning your case is only step one, unfortunately. If the other side doesn't pay voluntarily, you're gonna need more information to help you enforce that judgment. Information such as where do they work? Do they own property? Do they have bank accounts? Can they actually afford to pay? A debtor examination gives you a structured legal way to get those answers. When can you request one? Before you start, you do have to familiarize yourself with Ontario's Small Claims Court rules. Now, under these rules, you can request a debtor examination if there is a default under an order for payment or recovery of money. So in practical terms, that means you have a valid Small Claims Court judgment and the debtor has not paid as ordered. If those conditions are met, then you can request the court clerk in the courthouse closest to where the debtor lives or carries on business to issue a completed notice of examination, which is the Form 20H. Now, the rules actually require the clerk to issue this document as long as you have completed the form properly. What do you need to file? To successfully cause the court clerk to issue this document, you must file 3 key components. First, an affidavit for enforcement request, which is the Form 20P. This affidavit sets out the date of the judgment and the amount awarded, where the order was made, the applicable post-judgment interest rate. If you don't know how to calculate this, you could use CourtReady.ca's free post-judgment interest calculator. Any payments received since judgment, and the total amount still owing, including interest. Second, if your judgment was made in a different territorial division, you must also file a certificate of judgment, which is Form 20A. This means if you received the judgment in Toronto, but the debtor lives in Ottawa, you will need to complete the Form 20A and file this document along with your affidavit, which is the Form 20P. Third, the actual notice of examination, which is the Form 20H itself. You need to contact the court clerk in the territorial division where the debtor lives to decide on a time and date for the court to hold this examination. Once you have this information included in Form 20H. Once the court clerk accepts your filing, you will receive what's called issued or signed copy of the notice of examination, and the issued copy of the notice of examination will have the date and time of the actual examination hearing. How do you serve the issued notice properly? Service is critical, and once you have your issued copy of the notice of examination, you must serve this document in compliance with Rule 8. In most cases, this means personal service under Rule 8.02 or an alternative to personal service under Rule 8.03. If the debtor is an individual, you must also serve a blank financial information form, which is Form 20I, at the same time. Timing really matters here. The issued copy of the notice of examination must be served at least 30 days before the examination date, and this document must be filed with proof of service, like an affidavit of service, at least 3 days before the hearing. If the service is defective, the examination may not proceed. So be very careful. What can you ask at the examination? This is where debtor examinations are so powerful. The debtor can be examined under oath about why they haven't paid, their income and employment, their property and bank accounts, debts they owe and debts owed to them, any property they've disposed of before or after judgment, their past, present, or future ability to pay, and whether they intend to comply with the court order. In short, the examination is about gathering financial information from the debtor so that it becomes easier to enforce the judgment. Our friends at courtready.ca have also prepared a document containing sample questions that you can review. Remember, each situation is different and some questions may not actually apply to your situation, so consult a legal rep. But you can download this in the description below. What are the duties of the debtor? Debtor examinations are not optional. The rules require that a person served with a notice of examination must inform themselves about the issues being examined and be prepared to answer the questions. If the debtor is an individual, they must complete Form 20I, the financial information form, serve it on the creditor before the hearing, and bring supporting documents like pay stubs or financial documents to court. This information is not filed publicly, but it is reviewed by the judge. Now let's talk about who can be examined. Well, if the debtor is a corporation, partnership, or sole proprietorship, the rules allow someone to be examined on its behalf. For a corporation, though, this can be an officer or a director. For a partnership or sole proprietorship, this can be a partner or the sole proprietor themselves. What is the examination actually like? Well, the debtor examinations are private unless the court orders otherwise. They are conducted under oath and are recorded. The debtor has a legal obligation to answer honestly, and this is formal court process. False or misleading answers can have serious consequences. What happens after the examination? Great question. After the examination, the court may make an order specifying payment terms. Now, this could include a payment schedule, specific payment dates, or other structured enforcement directions. Importantly, while an order as to payment is in force, most other enforcement steps are paused, with limited exceptions. This is meant to create clarity and structure, not chaos. But if you're going to do it yourself, you might find it extremely helpful to get prepped with some of these questions that you might be asking in the examination hearing. So in partnership with courtready.ca, we've made a list of some of the questions you could ask during your examination hearing. Check the comments, check the description, download it for free. All right, it's time for the rental trio recap. Debtor's examination is an enforcement method you can pursue after your LTB hearing if you've got a judgment that says debtors owe you money and they haven't paid yet. Fill in the right forms. The 20A, HPI have different purposes. I've linked them below in the description for easy access, and you can read further later. And be prepared to ask the hard questions, which we have started a list for you. Please review. Okay, but remember, everything that I share with you is for educational purposes only. Please consult a legal representative or a professional that is not me for your personal circumstances, okay? Thank you. Did you learn something new today? Have you ever been to an examination hearing? Because I have. What was your outcome? The team at courtready.ca and I are on standby to hear your thoughts and to answer some questions if you've got any. Hit the subscribe button below, and I hope to see you next week as I share more knowledge with you through Openroom University. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.